Alright guys, what's going on? We're back for another video in these car vlogs. So let's get this started and see what we get into today. As you guys can see, I have everything mounted via my suction cup system. So we'll see how this actually works out. I haven't actually driven and used this on a vlog yet. So we'll see what happens. I'm pretty interested to see how it works. I still would like to have a different camera for your guys' point of view to look out the hood of the car, but it is what it is. We don't get what we want all the time, so we'll see what happens. Oh shit, big ass manhole cover. But just like last Saturday, we're on my way home from work, so you're gonna see the exact same straight drive as we did before, and you can hear that beautiful rattle that I speak of quite frequently because this car has it quite significantly. All right, and for those of you that are pretty observant, you'll see the bird shit on my window right here. That's because I have birds and they like to shit on my fucking cars. So I haven't really done this with a camera hanging from my windshield pointed at my face, so I'm interested to see how many people actually are gonna be like, hey, what the fuck? You know, there's a dude driving with a camera pointed at his face. They just literally threw a beer, 2 beers, out of their car. That's cool. I would have had that on camera, you know, if I had a camera facing the front. Nothing like drinking and driving, people. This is Dallas. It's what we do. Drink and drive. All right. Time for this little cozy Saturday drive. All right. So all week long, this past week at work, I was at some corporate training events for the people I work for. I can't say it in a video, but if you can read, you can read. But in regards to if you can read, you can see where I work. Quite simple. I like where I work. It's pretty nice. I get to work around a lot of cars, but unfortunately the cars I work around are mostly shitty, for lack of a better word. They're pretty low quality cars. I have like the random ones that come in that are really nice, but it's, I don't know, seeing how some people take care of their cars upsets me, because we have people that'll like Porsches and Mercedes and even some BMWs, right? And they'll come in, and mostly when you see people like that, they want a performance-oriented tire, you know, for handling and grip capabilities and stuff. Whereas the people in my area, they want to put Primewell Valera Sport tires on there. And for anyone that knows anything about tires, they are fucking awful. You know, like they're the cheapest cheap new tire you can get, next to like a Triangle tire, a Nexen, or a Kumo or something like that. In regards to tires, they're not that great. You know, in regards to performance capabilities on these high-end vehicles, definitely not the kind of stuff you should be looking for if you own one of those vehicles. But that's what people like to put on because it's cheap. But like, take me for example. Like, I am a good example when it comes to tires. I'm not made of money when it comes to tires. But my vehicles, I would at least put something quality on them, because tires matter. Tires make a difference how your car handles in rain, snow, slush, mud, you know, anything like that. This fucking tractor, I'm glad you pay attention, fucktard. Jesus. Someone literally just cut me off. But you always want to put a good quality tire on a car, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to help you stop better. It's what's going to give you better gas mileage and everything like that. Like, for example, on my 540, with the tires I run on here right now, some would say are shitty, but from personal experiences, I've had a good experience with them. The tires that are on this car are Federal 595 RSRs. Now, they're not the most expensive tire in the world. It's about $1,300 for a set, which is expensive to some, and while others it's not, because for the same size tires of these, you could get Michelin Pilot Super Sports, which are about the same degree. You know, it's just a super soft, sticky tire. You know, to that same degree, you'd be looking at about $3,000. You know, so you have to bear in mind with that, and that's balancing, that's mount, balance, labor, everything. So you have to keep that in mind when it comes to all your tires and shit, unless you got a tire machine at home and are doing everything yourself, which if you have a tire machine at home, you're awesome, because those things are not cheap, or you bought it used from a shop that was closing, either or. But that's the kind of tires I have on here. Now, they actually came with the car. They're not a tire that I went out and bought and put on the car, but from personal experience, I wasn't in a rush to change them after purchasing this car, because from personal experience, I knew they were an okay tire. Now, my favorite tire that I like to put on my street cars are Bridgestone Potenza's SO4 pole positions, because if you look on graphs and stuff like that, and even again out of personal experience, they handle excellently well in water, like actual wet driving and dry driving. So they're an all-season tire, but they handle better in summer conditions. I'm not sure if I told anybody this story yet on the YouTube side of things, but my wife was in a car wreck when she was 8.5 months pregnant. You know, someone sideswiped her and she slid into the wall of the HOV lane, like they threw her into the HOV lane and into the wall. And then I'm at home, probably about 20 minutes out from where she is, and I'm in my blue E46 with my SO4 pole positions, and it's pouring down rain at this point. And I am quite literally going 95 to 100 in pouring rain with these Bridgestone SO4 pole position tires. And after that night, there was a couple of issues, you know, where I started to track off the road, but that was because it was a lot of standing water and it wasn't a lot of room to actually grip. Another Beamer. Hey, Beamer buddy. But it's just one of those things, like tires make all the difference in the world when it comes to your car. So you want to get the best options available. That was a super giant bump, but there's plenty of options in regards to your driving style, driving habits, and so forth. So you always want to get something that's going to benefit you. Naturally, if you're just have a stupid little Honda Civic and you just want to drive around town, naturally you can just get by with a Kumo or whatever. But I like spirited driving. I like to take corners at speed. And I'm stuck in traffic on a Saturday. This is super weird. But I like to take corners at a pretty significant speed and certain G-forces. So I like to make sure I have all my options available to me in terms of grip and handling. I'm getting some shaking here right now in the front end. But I'm not sure what else I really want to do to this car in terms of, you know, performance, because it's performance-wise, it's actually probably where I would want a car. Like, I don't need anything faster. I do have a lead on another motor and transmission for this car, but it's the exact same motor, just better condition. While this one is still fully built, the other one I'm looking at, the guy wants to sell me the 6-speed. It's the motor, it's the 4.4 V8 from this car, which is the exact same motor. It's an ILM 62TU, and it comes with a blower on it. It comes with a supercharger and a 6-speed manual gearbox, clutch plate, and everything all together as one unit. And he wants to sell me that for $2,800. And again, to some, that might be a lot. But if you do the math, and if you've ever priced out a supercharger for a BMW engine, that price for all three of those things is cheaper than a supercharger by itself. So that kind of makes sense to me where I'm coming from, and it's something I'm actually open to, because, like, say if something happens with the motor in this car, I have a backup. And if I did want to do a manual transmission swap, I already have the clutch, I already have the drivetrain right there. I would have to buy a different drive shaft or have a custom one made. So it's not too much of an issue that would keep me from being able to run it. And I would have to get the 6-speed manual computers as well, you know, just to actually be able to shift up and down and run the car. And this car in front of me is going so fucking slow. speed limit's 70, man. It's like, I never would have thought 70 as a speed limit felt slow until you start driving behind people. You know, it's like, my average speed on the highway is 80 to 85, you know, but all these people on the highway that just drive 70 piss me off, you know, because I go like 80 or 85 on the highway, you know, and it's like, I'm in the fast lane 90% of the time, so it's not like I'm just weaving in and out of traffic, you know, which is why sometimes these car vlogs can be boring to some people, because you're literally just seeing me cruise. You're not going to see me do anything stupid or driving crazy unless it's to avoid something that's happening. Now, eventually there will be some back road stuff in these car vlogs, but I have to actually get some work done on the car before that happens. What I'm actually looking at doing, again, in the tire talk, these tires are good, but my original plan was to burn off these tires as much as I can to where I can get a little bit bigger sidewall tire on these wheels, because right now these have 225/40 17s on them, and I think it's 225/40, but and then I like to run 225/45 17, so I have a little bit more sidewall. And because putting something with a little bit more sidewall on the car, it'll actually raise the car a little bit, and then I can actually raise the car a little bit as well, so I might get another inch raised to give me just a little bit more ground clearance and still keep the car looking low, which is all that matters to me. This car looks good. I went to a car meet the other night. I do believe it was Thursday night. I went to a car meet, pulled up, and as soon as I parked, people flocked to my car to take pictures of it and ask me questions. That's a good feeling. To anyone that's ever taken a car to a car meet knows that's a good feeling if people have done that. Now, if you go to a car meet and no one stops and looks at your car, asks you about your car, clearly your car is not interesting. I'm not saying it's a bad car, but it's not interesting. There's nothing to talk about. When I pull into a parking lot at a car meet, my car is low, it's loud, and it's wide. You know, and that's pretty much three things that people look for these days. I have a V8 straight piped, so it's loud, and then the whole car has been widened, so it's wide. I have nice wheels and tires, and it's slammed, which in today's car scene, that's kind of a big thing. You know, is how low can it go? Like car limbo. They have car limbo at car events these days, which is fucking hilarious because I want to enter that and see where I come out to. But it's just really crazy things going on in cars these days. But I do want to raise this car a little bit. I really don't, but I need to, just for everyday practicality purposes. You know, because it's just not practical for me to have a car this low all the time. You know, like ideally I would like to get bags put on it, but that's money I don't want to throw at it because I don't really need it. You know, like it would literally just be for me to get it in and out of my driveway and over a speed bump if one ever comes in my path to where I have to avoid one. But as of right now, I'm kind of happy where the car is at. I bought it like this as is, and I'm happy with it. Like, it does have little things that I want to do and touch up and get done. Like, the front bumper is not painted at all. Some of you may have noticed that. Like, it's literally just the black ABS plastic that it comes shipped in. There's a couple of little body issues. But overall, the car's in good shape. It's in great condition. It runs great. You know, like, there's just not much I can complain about on this car more than I can brag about. Now, while I was at this car meet, I got approached by this car club called Team Defiance. They were hitting me up on Facebook and stuff like that, and I was talking to the head of the Texas chapter. Apparently, Team Defiance is pretty big, and it's all over the United States. It's in a couple of spots across the world, which is kind of cool. But whenever I met the head members for Dallas, apparently the Dallas chapter of Team Defiance is being rebuilt. You know, and while I met the guys and I hung out with them at this car meet, they were cool guys to hang out with, but at the end of the day, it's like they literally had nothing done to their cars. Like, one guy had a stock Genesis turbo, which Genesis turbos are all right. At bare minimum, they're all right. But other than that, there was a CRX that had pretty decent stuff done to it. It had a D16 Y8 out of a 99 EX swapped into it, but they didn't do the full fuel injection conversion. They put the carbureted intake system on it out of a single cam CC motor. You know, so it's just little things. Like that one had the most extensive work, whereas the other cars, like the actual head of the Dallas chapter, had a stock Honda Civic that's just been lowered. My background coming from cars, if you want to be in a car club, something truly has to be unique about your car. It can't just be, oh, I have a Civic and it's low, or something like that. Oh, I have a truck and I have a system in it. You know, I mean, that doesn't impress me. It might impress some people, but to me, I'm not impressed that easily. You know, and it might just me being a dick in regards to personal taste or elitism or something. But that's just how I look at it. You know, it's like you want to go to car shows and show your cars, but at the end of the day, your car isn't worth showing. You know what I mean? You have knockoff wheels on there. You don't have name brand wheels. You have knockoffs, and you have lowering springs, not even coilovers. Your paint is terrible. Like, my paint's not even great on this car. That's why I'm looking at getting it wrapped. I just demolished this fucking plastic bag on the road. That's why I'm looking at things to have done to my car to make it make the appearance a bit better. But it's just people, like, I like people that are into cars. I'm into Hondas. I'm into some Hyundais. Like, I like to see what people can do with the Velosters and the Genesises, and I like the VIP style cars. I will never do that, you know, to my car, but I like where some people take it. But for me, it's just not feasible. But there's just a lot of things. Like, I don't see the point in having a car club if all you have is lowered Hondas. That's not cool. You know, I'm sorry. You know, like, my Hondas were always turboed and quick, you know, and not one of these kids in this car club have anything boosted or even faster than, or holding more horsepower than not even 200 horsepower, you know. It's like, oh my God. It's like, I have the best looking car out there and the fastest car out there. And in my mind, this car is crap. You know, to me, this car is crap. In my mind, this car has work that needs to be done to make it beautiful, to make it acceptable to me. But to other people, when they see this car, when they hear this car, they're like, holy fuck, that's a clean ass car. You know, it's two opposite sides of a coin. You know, everybody always has something they're wanting to work on or do to their own car. But they want me to join their Team Defiance group or whatever. For most of you that know me, you guys know I roll with North Texas Beamers Club. So we always roll around. I won't say roll around, but we get together once a year and have this big ass barbecue. Every Friday night we meet up at this place called Chow Asians and just hang out and talk and bullshit for a few hours. But it's not really a car club. We don't go to events. We don't participate in anything. We don't do anything car club oriented. You know, so it's got little things that happen, little nuances that don't really make it a club to me. Like, it's just a bunch of friends, which I'm still okay with that. I'm good with a bunch of friends. Wow, there's a lot of crap going on right here. There's an ambulance on the road. There's just a bunch of things going on that make car clubs either good or bad. Now, if you're in an official car club and they tell you you can't represent another club, that's cool, because if you're actually in an official car club, you don't want to represent two clubs. You need to be loyal to one brand. You know, you can't have like 18,000 stickers of different clubs on your shit and expect that to be okay, because at the end of the day, it's not. It's not okay to represent, you know, all that other crap. I'm going to cut this dude off just so I can make this light. But that's just one of those things you got to look out for, especially if you're looking for car clubs, because you want people, that are like-minded. You know, you don't want to have, you know, what is it they equate things to? Like, if you have a Ferrari or something, you know, if you have a Ferrari and are looking for a driving club for your Ferrari, you're not going to hang out with a bunch of fucking, you know, poor man Hondas or even BMWs. Like, most Ferrari drivers won't associate with BMW drivers because they look at us as lower grade cars. Whereas, you know, like, I drive a BMW. I see the effort that other people put into their cars, like Hondas and vice versa. But for me, once again, you can't really build a car club just because you're lowered and have a set of wheels on your car. That's where I stand on that. But let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, I'll see y'all on the next one. Later, guys.